Urgent Washington Commanders fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Washington Commanders updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, Commanders fans! Today, we've got some really exciting news that could shake things up for your team. Now, I know the NFL offseason is always packed with rumors, speculations, and those little whispers about potential trades and signings, but what's happening right now with the Washington Commanders is something that's caught everyone's attention. We're talking about a serious move that could redefine the team's defensive front and give them a real boost heading into the upcoming season. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single detail, so stay tuned because we're about to dive deep into what might be the most significant development for Washington this offseason. Let's start by setting the scene here. The Commanders, as you know, have been building their roster with a clear focus on improving their defense. Over the past few seasons, one thing that's been quite evident is that while they've had some solid players on that side of the ball, they've also been looking for that game-changing edge rusher who can consistently pressure the quarterback, disrupt plays in the backfield, and make life difficult for offenses. That's exactly why the potential acquisition of George Karlaftis has fans and analysts alike buzzing. This guy is a rising star, a player with a lot of potential. And now, the rumors suggest that Washington might be willing to pull the trigger on a trade to bring him into the fold. Karlaftis, for those of you who might not be fully familiar with his journey, is a talented edge rusher from Purdue University. He's known across the college football landscape for his relentless motor, exceptional pass rushing skills, and ability to set the edge against the run. When you watch him play, you notice a player with a high motor, a guy who never gives up on a play, and someone with the size and agility to get around blockers and get to the quarterback. His presence on the field is a game wrecker, and that's exactly what the Commanders are looking for, someone who can step in and make an immediate impact. Now, why is Washington so interested in Karlaftis right now? Well, if we look at their recent defensive performances, it's clear that they've been searching for consistency and playmakers on that front seven. While players like Montez Sweat and Chase Young have shown flashes of brilliance, injuries and inconsistencies have held the unit back from reaching its full potential. Adding a player like Karlaftis could bring that extra spark, that extra push that elevates the entire unit. His ability to generate pressure and his versatility to play both inside and outside makes him a particularly attractive target. In fact, his skill set aligns perfectly with the team's desire to have a flexible, aggressive pass rush that can adapt to different offensive schemes. But here's where things get even more interesting. The NFL is a league where everything is a chess game. Teams are always weighing their options, trying to maximize value, and making strategic moves to strengthen their rosters. The Commanders are reportedly willing to make a serious pitch to the team that holds Karlaftis' rights, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, as many of you know, recently won the Super Bowl, and they've got a strong roster, but they also face the challenge of managing their salary cap and roster composition. That opens the door for negotiations, especially if the Chiefs see an opportunity to get draft capital or other valuable assets in return. Of course, the Chiefs are in a good position. They've already got a talented pass rush with players like Chris Jones and the emerging George Karlaftis, but they're also known for being strategic about their roster moves. If the Commanders can put together an attractive package, maybe a mid-round pick, a young player, or a combination of assets, they might be able to persuade Kansas City to part ways with Karlaftis. And for Washington, this move could be a game-changer. A talented young rusher like him can not only help improve their immediate pass rush but also serve as a building block for the future. Let's talk a little more about what Karlaftis could bring to Washington. As a rookie last season, he showed flashes of brilliance. He recorded multiple sacks and was often double-teamed, which speaks volumes about how opponents viewed him as a threat. His explosiveness off the edge, combined with his power and motor, makes him a nightmare for offensive linemen. Plus, he's versatile enough to line up in different spots along the defensive front, which gives defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio some interesting options. Imagine him lining up alongside Montez Sweat, creating a fearsome duo that offenses would have to scheme around. That kind of pass rush could open up opportunities for the linebackers and secondary to make plays, transforming Washington's defense into a more cohesive and dangerous unit. Now, I want to pause here for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. Looking at the bigger picture, this potential move underscores Washington's commitment to building a competitive team. They've been active in free agency, making some solid signings, and now they're looking to add young, talented pieces via trade. The idea of bringing in Karlaftis isn't just about one player, it's about sending a message that the Commanders are serious about winning and building a defense that can carry them deep into the playoffs. It's about establishing a culture of relentless pass rushing and fiery competition that can intimidate opponents. And let's not forget the fan perspective. The Washington faithful have been yearning for a defense that can dominate and make a real difference in games. Every sack, every pressure, every disruptive play from a player like Karlaftis would energize the entire fanbase. Imagine the electric atmosphere at FedEx Field when he gets to the quarterback. The crowd's roar, the momentum shift, it's exactly the kind of impact that can turn around a game and give the Commanders that extra edge they've been searching for. Plus, with the team's recent draft strategy, focusing on adding young talent and developing it over time, Karlaftis fits perfectly into their long-term plans. Now, it's important to keep in mind that negotiations like these can take time. The NFL trade market is complex, and there are many factors at play: contract negotiations, draft picks involved, salary cap considerations, and the long-term plans of both teams. But the fact that the Commanders are exploring this option shows how committed they are to bolstering their front seven. They understand that in today's NFL, having a dominant pass rush is the key to controlling games and winning championships. The league has evolved into a game where quarterbacks are protected by offensive lines that are better than ever, so having a relentless, versatile edge rusher can make all the difference. And for George Karlaftis himself, this could be a huge opportunity. Moving to Washington would mean stepping into a team that's hungry to compete and that's looking for players to be leaders on defense. His young career is already showing promise, but playing in a setting where he can be a focal point of the pass rush, with a coaching staff eager to develop him further, could be the perfect next step. Plus, the atmosphere and culture in Washington are built around resilience and fighting spirit. That kind of environment can help a young player like Karlaftis flourish and reach his full potential. So, as fans, we're left wondering, will this trade actually happen? Are the Commanders willing to part with draft capital or a player to make this happen? And what would this mean for the team's defensive identity moving forward? These are questions only time will answer, but what's clear is that Washington is making strategic moves to position itself as a serious contender. And acquiring a talent like George Karlaftis would definitely be a statement move, one that says, we're here to compete, and we're not holding back. Now, as we look ahead, the NFL offseason is always full of surprises. Teams are constantly adjusting, trying to find that perfect balance between veterans and youth, cap space and talent. The Commanders' interest in Karlaftis shows they're also thinking long-term, building a core that can sustain success over multiple seasons. And the fans, of course, are eagerly awaiting any official news. Everyone wants to see their team make bold moves, and this potential acquisition fits right into that narrative, a move that could energize the roster and the fan base alike. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think a trade for George Karlaftis would make the team better immediately? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him in the burgundy and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest news, so stay tuned and keep supporting your team. The offseason is just heating up, and the best is yet to come for this talented squad. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Commanders!